City Clerk, are you ready? Okay. Hey, welcome to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission meeting of June 4th, 2024. Items listed on the agenda may be taken out of order presented. 2 or more agenda items for consideration may be combined, and any item on the agenda may be removed or related to discussion or may be delayed at any time. Backup material for this agenda may be obtained from Lou Ann D. Holmes, City Clerk of the Office of the City Clerk at 495 South Main Street, 2nd floor, or on the city's webpage at lasvegasnevada.gov. I'd like to now call to order and have a roll call, please.
Chair Becker.
Here.
Vice Chair Niger.
Here.
Commissioner Sherman.
Here.
Commissioner Armenian. Excuse Commissioner Gabray. Excuse Commissioner Howard.
Here.
Commissioner Keller.
Present.
Commissioner Martin.
Here.
Commissioner Zamora.
Present.
Commissioner Burgos.
Here.
Commissioner Cornwell.
Here.
Commissioner Robinson.
Present.
Commissioner Stitt.
Here.
Commissioner Vokitz.
Present.
Thank you, Chair. You have a quorum.
Thank you. And with that, I'd like to go ahead and make sure that we're in compliance with the open meeting law.
Yes, we are, Chair.
Thank you. Now I would like to open it up to agenda item number 3, public comment. Comment during this portion of the agenda may be limited to matters on the agenda for action. If you wish to be heard, come forward and give your name for the record, and the amount of discussion as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. While I see nobody here for public comment, I did want to use this portion of our agenda just to say that I was sorry I haven't been away for a few months, but it was for a good cause. As some of you know, among other things, I'm a high school coach for the high school softball at Durrell Academy Red Rock, and the team was in the state playoffs, and we finished 5th this year, so that's pretty good. The last game was close. It was actually my daughter who pitched a no-hitter, but we still came up short 0-1 because of an error on the field. That's the way it goes sometimes. Anyway, I wanted to also use this opportunity to share some photos that were taken during the Malcolm White tree planting ceremony on March 25th at Durango Park. It was attended by several commissioners and staff and members of the White family. And here's a fun fact, is one of the daughters used to play at this park and as a child at the time, and it's located behind a YMCA where Malcolm once worked, so you can see on the screen. That's the plaque that we had. We mentioned that he was a civic leader, mediator, and friend of parks, which they loved, and then he made a difference. And as you can see, that's the White family and everybody who is present there, especially some of our more senior park commissioners and a couple new ones. So it was a very nice event, and staff did a beautiful job. That, by the way, is an Arizona ash. It'll grow to be about 30 or 40 feet tall. So I just wanted to mention that today. Thank you. Moving to agenda item 4 for possible action is to improve the final meeting minutes by reference of the regular meeting of May 7th, 2024.
Commissioner Martin, Ward 2, motion to accept the minutes.
Great. Hearing
I
that
second.
there has been a motion. I'm sorry? Hearing
I'll
that there's...
second the motion.
Hearing that there is a motion made, I'd like to go ahead and call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And the ayes have it. Thank you. Agenda item number 5, report by the Department of Public Safety regarding issues at city facilities and parks, all wards. Lieutenant, if you could give us your report. I see we have a handout this time. Thank you so much for bringing that.
Good afternoon, Tony Kumar, Department of Public Safety. Just wanted to let you know that I was paying attention, Chair. All right, as per our usual, I will begin with the rundown of the parks, and we will touch on the most active areas. We'll start with Ward 1. That would be, the first would be Rotary Park. There were 6 arrests or citations over 3 the previous year, and the most predominant violation was park rules violations. Mirabelli Community Center, there was also 6 arrests or citations over 0 the previous year. Trespassing was the most common violation there. And Essex Circle Park, 4 arrests or citations over 0 the previous year, and park rules violations were again the most prominent violation. In Ward 1, there were a total of 28 calls for, citations or arrests, which is up over 15 the previous year. And there were a total of 62 calls for service for the month of May. Moving on to Ward 2, Kellogg's Air Soccer Complex, there were 2 arrests or citations. That is exactly the same as it was last year, and harassment was the most predominant violation. Bruce Trent Park, there was 1 citation or arrest, and it was for a park rules violation. And that concludes it for that one. 3 total arrests or citations, down from 5 the previous year. Total of 30 calls for service in May of '24. Moving on to Ward 3, Justice Leavitt Park, there were 51 arrests or citations, over 15 the previous year. Park rules violations were again the most common. Baker Park, 9 arrests or citations, over 2 the previous year. Park rules violations, again, the most prevalent. Selby Park, 6 arrests or citations, over 0 the previous year, and warrants was the most prevalent violation there. There were a total of 82 arrests or citations in Ward 3, over 44 the previous year. There were 119 total calls for service in the month of May '24. Ward 4, Mountain Ridge Park, 1 arrest or citation for a park rules violation, over 0 the last year. Buckskin Basin Park, 1 arrest or citation, also for a park rules violation, and that is up from 0 the previous year. Bunker Park, 1 arrest or citation, which is the same as the previous year. That was for a warrant. There were 3 arrests or citations, over 1 the previous year, and 53 total calls for service this last month. Moving on to Ward 5, Lorenzi Park, 25 arrests or citations, over 19 the previous year. Park rules violations the most prevalent there. Ethel Pearson Park, 15 arrests or citations, over 7 the previous year. Again, park rules violations the most prevalent. Heritage Park, 14 arrests or citations, over 10 the previous year, and park rules violations, again, the most prevalent. 73 total arrests or citations in Ward 5, over 68 the previous year, a total of 146 calls for service for May of '24. Ward 6, Centennial Hills Park, 1 arrest or citation, down from 2 the previous year. That was for a driving violation. There was just that 1 arrest or citation in Ward 6, down from 3 the previous year. 32 total calls for service in May of '24. Trailer cameras. Our trailer cameras were deployed at Doolittle Park. They were recently, at the end of the month, moved to Cashman Center in response to copper wire theft and vandalism. There is also an additional camera that is deployed at the city parking lot on First Street, and at the end of the month, it was moved to Ron's lot in response to complaints of fights and illegal activities in the area. For our community-oriented policing efforts, on May 9th at Durango Hills YMCA, we attended the crosswalk safety talk, and that was in Ward 4. And that concludes the report from the Department of Public Safety. I will now answer any questions anyone might have.
Oh, that's wonderful. Commissioners, do you have any questions today? No? I don't have any questions today. I guess you're let off easy.
Very good. Thank you, Chair.
See what
Thank you,
happens when you
Commissioners.
bring a printed, no.
Thank you.
Take care. Okay, agenda item number 6, report by Adrian Montenegro, Facilities Project Manager regarding park maintenance updates, all wards. Adrian.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, Adrian Montenegro, Facilities Project Manager for Parks and Grounds Maintenance. Okay. Just current sign. These are the current signs currently at all our regional parks to discourage feeding of wildlife. Can be added to other locations. Currently reviewing other sites that are necessary and having these postings. Ward 1 completed the Rainbow Family Park new batting cage. There was a previous one that was in disrepair, and that's been renovated. Doc Romeo Field 8 fence, outfield fence is scheduled for repair in the coming weeks. Betty Wilson, 20 new concrete trash cans have been ordered, waiting for that to receive those. Bob Baskin handball court upgrades. We have the new slats going into the fence panels that's been issued a purchase order and being scheduled. Ward 2, All-American Park, artificial turf replacement fields 3, 4, and 5. Demo has begun on Monday, this past Monday, the 3rd, and with a completion in July. All-American Park, future project, All-American Park, adding accessible paths to all fields. That's actually will be complete this week as well. Ward 3, Gary Reese Freedom Park, perimeter fence painting has been completed this week. Baker Park restroom slat retrofit is in progress. Gary Reese Freedom Playground painting color under selection and scheduling. Ward 4, Wayne Bunker Park skate park fencing renovations been completed, along with a new paint job. Wayne Bunker Park parking lot crack sealed and the slurry sealed has been completed. Majestic Park playground shades have been replaced. Ward 5, Children's Memorial walking path repairs have been complete. Doolittle Shack Court resurfacing planned for July. Clarence Ray playground shade replacement is on order. Ward 6, Centennial Hills Park butterfly and flower shade retrofit is now complete. Gilcrease Brothers Park new turf and curbing has been complete. And Sunny Springs basketball resurfacing is being scheduled. And that concludes my portion. If there's any questions?
Great. Commissioners, any questions for park maintenance? Yeah, go ahead, on the end. Lisa, hold on.
I just want to
Commissioner
mention that we had a really lively discussion regarding the birds and the wildlife, and I was really pleased to see that the Office of Communications did some wonderful communications on television that made it to the news, and they were very well done, so thank you to your department for that.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Commissioner Cornwell. Have you received any complaints or emails about Bradley Horse Park? Because I'm getting phone calls about some stuff that's happening over there or not happening, per se. Like the water is not sufficient, the plants are dying, and then for some reason there's a lock on the gate to the adjacent open riding area. And the horse community out there they use that a lot in the summertime because they don't want to trailer out as much because it's too hot for the horses.
Okay.
So they go there, 3, 4 in the morning when it's the coolest, 5, and now they can't get in at all. So they're just wondering what's going on with that. And you probably don't have that answer, but I just wanted you aware that.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I'm filling in for the manager, so I'll
Right.
take that information and have it checked into, but I personally have not heard anything.
Okay,
as of
so
yet,
they just send the emails to Steve Glimp, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
okay, no problem. Thank you.
If I can jump in on that, if it truly is 3 or 4 in the morning, the park is supposed to be closed. So I just want to, we're open from dawn to dusk, and 3 and 4 is generally a little too early for that.
Right, but the lock is on there all day, 24/7, so,
We'll check into it.
okay, thank you.
Oh, I don't think we're done, Adrian, I don't think we're done yet. That's okay. Commissioner?
I'm not as sneaky as I
Russ Martin, Ward 2. I just wanted to comment as far as the park hours. I brought it up about the dog parks during the summertime. and I was informed that due to the summer heat, people could take their dogs to the dog parks after the park is closed. I would assume it would be the same for horses. So I just wanted to bring up that comment.
Okay.
And then I had a question, Adrian.
Sure.
So you might not know the answer to this, but I do know, I had mentioned to Mr. Glimp that in Majestic, they had put down those mats in front of the pitching rubbers at Majestic Park, and some of them seem to be coming up a little bit, or they're maybe set too shallow, and I was hoping that could be addressed. It was never addressed during the high school softball season, but I know that those fields are going to be used quite frequently, of course, during, summer tournaments, and maybe some of the rec leagues will be using it, and I know some of the travel teams will be out there. So if we could just have somebody go through and make sure that if we're going to continue to use those mats that I still don't think are necessarily ideal, that we sink them a little bit lower. So, it's to prevent trenching that occurs when a softball pitcher pitches.
Correct.
But at the same time, I think it's creating additional issues that need to be addressed.
Okay, you're referring at the batting area,
It's in front of the pitching rubbers.
Oh, correct, okay,
Yeah.
I know which ones you're referring to. Okay.
The mats that are put down around home plate, those seem to be fine, but
Yeah.
it's the ones right in front of the rubbers, and then the water doesn't penetrate, so it makes the topsoil very loose, and within less than an inning, usually it'll be scraped off, and then the pitchers are pitching on mats, which is kind of detrimental because they're using, they have cleats on their
Okay.
feet. Yeah.
Understood.
Okay.
Yep, no
Great.
problem.
And that's all I had. But thank you for your report. It was a great report. It was good to see that things are moving along, and I think you addressed all the wards perfectly. So it was great, and great to see you this time.
Thank you very much. Anything else?
But you're not done yet.
Oh, not done yet. Commissioner?
Commissioner Burgos, Ward 6. And this is probably a question you don't know off the top of your head. Oh, there you go, sorry. Thank you. You probably don't know this off the top of your head, but last year was reported that there was either $2 million worth of adaptive equipment bought or purchased or in the process of being purchased, placed in our parks, as well as replacing some of the equipment that's broken. So I was just see if we could maybe somehow get a status at some point of that. I know recently I visited Polly Gonzalez with my special needs grandson, and the wheelchair that's been broke, there's a wheelchair slide there, or swing, and it's still broken. It's been over a year. So I'm just trying to find out, how we can get these replaced quicker, or how we can do that, because we do have a very large community that is definitely in need.
Absolutely. All the new equipment that's been purchased and slated for install have many new inclusive features in them. Unfortunately, that swing at that time was kind of premature of a design, so we definitely have some newer designs out there that we've been working with and could replace that with, so I'll definitely follow through on that.
Thank you.
No problem.
Great. Any other commissioners? No? Okay, see, now I think you're free. There you go. I'd like to now move on to agenda item number 7, report by Aaron Radke, Recreation Manager, regarding recreation and center updates, all wards.
Hi, good afternoon. Erin Radke, Recreation Manager. I wanted to give you a few updates as we go in to the June month. For our hot topics, the Connex at Marabelli Community Center was broken into in early May. There were some items stolen and found in some of the homeless corridor areas down in that area, so the marshals are working on getting that retrieved, and it has occurred a few different times over history, so it's one of the natures that we deal with. And again, we're looking forward to figuring out how we can secure that a little bit better in the future. Veterans Memorial Community Center, I've been giving you the updates on that, so wanted to give you the finalized restrooms on the side where the kids' camp area is and where more of our classrooms are at. So on the left, you can see that everything is up to date. It's beautiful. And we also have the smaller little toilets now for the preschool kids, which is helpful for a lot of our active programs that we have throughout the year. So we're looking at that's going to be an advantage for us to make it easier for kids and for the parents taking the kids in the restrooms. And the middle picture is the opposite side by the fitness room. So they started remodeling those bathrooms last week. So got a few more months or weeks of that going on. But we are very happy and proud that that facility has become remodeled and everyone is enjoying the new facilities. This is one of our pictures with a variety from our Mother's Day luncheon. This was in collaboration with Doolittle Community Center, or Senior Center. They do a Mother's Day luncheon every year. This time, we did a collaboration with the county, and it was held at the park. We had 250 participants at this event, and as you can see, everyone received flowers. We had some inspirational speakers, as well as a lot of different families from across the whole community that attended. The park was filled, and they had an awesome time at this event. For East Las Vegas, we had the 90-plus banquet. For those of you that don't know, we have a banquet every year to celebrate anyone that is 90 years old or older, and they get a special invitation. We had 50 participants this year, and they're allowed to bring a guest, so 100 participants. And our oldest 90-plus person is in the center. She is 106 years old, if you can believe that. So we look forward to seeing her next year. And this is a very special time to kind of get some of the multi-generational aspects that we have, because we all look forward to living a prosperous life and living a long time. And it's great to see over the years, as our seniors have grown, we're still providing activities along with them being able to celebrate with their family the historical markers. Along with that, we had special guests on the left side. Nate Tannenbaum came out and was one of our inspirational speakers as well, and he actually aired a lot of our program on Channel 8. He loves this event, as well as the Polar Express that we do at Cimarron Rose in December. So we have a great working relationship with him, and he comes out and supports us every year. So we're very pleased and thankful he was able to do that this year as well. Okay, all you pickleball lovers. So I had to throw something in here this time. It's been a few months. So we had Behind the Blue pickleball tournament recently, and this was all police officers that did this event, and it was a great turnout. And this tournament spurs off where the police now go against fire. So we have a tournament coming up in the fall for this. Fire is getting their game on pretty quick here. They're going to get their tournament going. So it'll be kind of that little competition, healthy competition that we love to see in the recreation world. That particular one, oops, sorry. I had to back it up. Oh, I'm going to do it again. I need to go backwards, I'm sorry. I clicked backwards. Oh my gosh, why is it doing it? I had to ask it right when it went over. This particular event, I believe that one was, I do not have that on here. Apologize for that. See if I can get to the picture. Slow. I pushed the button too fast, sorry. On this, I am not positive on this one if it was at the Aloha. Durango Hills on this one. Yes, Durango Hills, because you're welcome. All right, hopefully it goes right. Okay, in summer camp, we kicked off that. This is week 3 of summer camp. Some of you have been to some of the facilities, or if you're going to be going on tours here soon, you're going to see a lot of decorated buildings in the summer camp areas. So the theme every year, it's Rocking Through the Ages this summer, but they do decorate internally to bring life to the building a little bit more for the kids. And I just wanted to kind of give you kind of snapshots of some of the facilities. As you know, we focus on Camp Kindness every year, so there's themes rolled into Camp Kindness that they instill in the children weekly, along with all of their publicity that goes out to the parents. The staff has done an awesome job across the board. I can only squeeze in so many on here, but I have enjoyed seeing the sites and seeing what they're doing, the creativity and the awesomeness. In summer camp right now, we are almost full. East Las Vegas has a few more openings, but we do have about 580 kids in our kids camp age range, which are ages 5 to 11. Our teen camp, we have 155. And those are ages the 12 to 14, and then we have 32 tots, which are ages 3 to 5. The tot camp is only at Marabelli, but we are filling up, and parents have been filling out financial aid. We also have parents coming from all different areas, obviously CCSD, charter schools, and private schools that attend these programs. This is one of our largest events and programs that we run in recreation, along with our leagues and all our various other programs. But in summertime, when you go in these buildings, it's like buzzing. Lots of kiddos, a lot of parents. They go on field trips weekly. They swim weekly as well. So kind of incorporating some of everything and exposing children to new ideas and things to build social and emotional growth, along with team building and hopefully future leaders as well. Wanted to give you a little bit of summer camp in action, so I threw in a few pictures from camps this year. Very proud on the graduates off to the left. Those are two of our adaptive students that have graduated this year and one of our staff. So very instrumental in making sure that the kids go through the full process of graduation. So we actually we've hired some of those kids too. So it's kind of a nice change that we are able to be all inclusive in all our programs. And then in the middle where you see the grooviness, these are the key points that they fill out. Like every week there's a different atmosphere or a different theme that they have for like accountability, acceptability. And they earn little points, basically wristbands, and they can turn them in for doing acts of kindness and that. So it helps instill values that we want to see in our future, in our current kids, but also our future adults. Had to throw in a little bit of the swim picture there, although this one particularly is at a center, so water day, the first week we don't swim. As you know, we have the lifeguard shortages that I touched on last month, and the aquatics team finalized their last hiring fair, so we are open to all of the dates that we gave you previously. So all the pools were open. They're staggered on the outdoor pools, but we do have days and times for every ward and every pool, which I'm very proud that the staff has been able to do that. It's been hard competition in the aquatic world. So they have pulled it off, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful summer with all of the activities and the swim lessons that we'll have going forward. Some of the other snapshots are Cimarron Rose during their first week of camp. We have the staff training. We take numerous hourly staff to make our camps run every year. So we go through multiple trainings throughout the summer at the beginning to start kicking up, and then we do on-site training as well with coordinators and the staff if we need to improve areas. And then the middle picture is a picture of one of the team's first field trips. They went over and were able to paint their own ceramics and take those home. Had to throw in the playground there because that's Maribelli's. That's part of their new playground that the kids have really enjoyed so far. It's a little bit different than what they had before, but it has been a wonderful asset. And in the bottom, that is the floor hockey outside that we're doing at, this particular one was Cimarron Rose that they were playing at. And then moving forward, I just wanted to let you guys know our MSU, which is our municipal sports unit, they received the Smart Lab Award this month, or for the month of May, and that was due to our 50% increase of tournament permit applications over the year. They were trying to figure out a more efficient way to make it faster to get the permits in, but also make it more customer satisfied, where they were able to get all their information in and also increase their field utilization in a timely manner. So they basically, the city is looking at ways to be more effective, both cost-effective, time effectiveness, saving paper, and they put in enough to decrease their printing by 87%, which is huge in electronic world that we're going into, and kind of getting rid of paper throughout time, along with the time of processing those permits. So very excited that they won that award this past month. Now, coming up in the future, we have the wheelchair. We received that for the wheelchair tournament that is coming up in October. So I'll bring that information as it comes up in a couple months to give you more data on that. And then we have the International Soccer Tournament coming up as well, which those are players from everywhere from Spain, obviously in the States, and then all across the world. So that's going to be a big competition too. So I'll bring you more pictures and information and data on that as that moves forward. Okay? Yeah.
Great, thanks, Manager Radke. Stay there. I'm going to open it for questions just a minute, but since, I was going to save this till later, but it makes sense to do it now, speaking of the Summer Camp 2024. I just wanted to briefly thank our Commissioners Robinson and Vocus on serving for the secret judges for this year's Camp Kindness Challenge. So this Thursday, they're going to tour the various recreation centers and judge the center's bulletin boards with that Rockin' Through the Ages theme. So I can't thank them enough for stepping up, and also our Parks and Recreation staff for asking volunteers to serve, because this is exactly the kind of engaged commission I've been hoping for several years, and it's kind of what we've always dreamed about, and it's starting to happen, and I love that. We do need another commissioner to step up and volunteer, so if you want to go and spend a day looking at the bulletin boards and judging them, and then I think they're going to get a lunch as well. All the transportation will be taken care of. You definitely want to jump on that. If we don't have any commissioners do that, I'm going to serve as the backup. I have an engagement that evening, but I definitely be happy to do that too, but I'm hoping that somebody here steps up today. So if you want to step up, see us after the meeting today, Ashley and I, and we'll talk about it. All right, thank you. Any commissioners with questions
What's the date?
of the judging? That's going to be this Thursday, so that would be the 6th.
One of you guys going to clear your calendars?
Well, you think about it, you don't have to answer this minute. Any other questions today for Manager Radke? No? Oh, seeing none, I guess you're good.
Okay.
Thank you so much, that was a great
Thank you.
report, thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to agenda item number 8, a report by Savante Manor Recreation Supervisor regarding the 2024 Corporate Challenge Awards.
Good afternoon. All right, my name is Savante Manor. I oversee the Corporate Challenge Program with the City of Las Vegas. Today with me I have Jennifer. She actually runs the program now. And I have Andrea on my right. And Andrea has overseen Corporate Challenge for a very long time. A little after its inception, a couple of years, right?
Just a little.
Just a little bit. So we're going to go through our presentation today. We have some really good information here today, and if you guys have any questions for us, we'll be open at the end of it. So get started.
Hello, my name is Andrea Anzalone, and I am the Adaptive Coordinator for the City of Las Vegas Parks and Recreation. As Savante alluded to, I have overseen Corporate Challenge now a little over 20 years. I love Corporate Challenge. It's been my life for 20 years. But passing on the baton to my coworker, Jen, which has followed side by side and loves Corporate Challenge just as much as I do. So I'll just be in the background of Corporate Challenge going forward. But of the 20 years that I've overseen Corporate Challenge, we, the City of Las Vegas, has never won first place. So this year for 2024, the City of Las Vegas, our team won first place. So we're so excited about that. And that just speaks to, we're coming out of COVID. It speaks to volumes of now we really do need camaraderie. We need people to come together and do things. In the City of Las Vegas, all of our employees did that this year. So we were really excited and proud of them. Next, not only, in all the years of the 20 years that I've seen Corporate Challenge, we naturally touch people's lives in the fact from health and wellness, right? We bring people out to come together, participate in various sports. This year we offered 36 different sports. We'll touch on a little bit later in our presentation about bringing more additional sports on. But we attached this letter because we really wanted to show you that we also touch people's lives personally. This gal, her name is Virginia. She's a very dear friend of ours. A couple years ago, unbeknownst to me, in 2018, she had lost her son tragically. She had come to Corporate Challenge. We noticed in the uptick, 2019 was the last year that we ran Corporate Challenge. Well, actually 2020, but we only ran it for one event and then we had to stop. So anyway, she had been coming to these different events. This year she actually came to me through probably the beginning of Corporate Challenge and said, she just said, hey, Andrew, can I get a hug? And I said, okay, sure, hi, you know. Gave her a hug and she just wept and cried. And I said, oh my goodness, are you okay? And she said, I'm fine, I just needed a hug. And I said, okay. Well, then she sent this letter attached, and basically it said that her son had passed away, and that if it wasn't for Corporate Challenge and our coworkers and kind of just bringing her in, Corporate Challenge can definitely not run without all the volunteers that we have. So she volunteered a lot that year, and she said, if I didn't have those opportunities, I'm not quite sure where I would have been in my life if I wasn't even here at all due to this program. And as I saw this, I bawled. I mean, I've seen so many emails for my 20 years of how much Corporate Challenges touch people's lives, but this one, I mean, to think this woman's son passed, I'm a mother, I can't even imagine, A, and B, having our staff, our group, and this program brought life to this woman that may have not wanted to continue with hers. So I just wanted to share that Corporate Challenge just isn't about sporting events, it really is about community, and the City of Las Vegas has had the ability to run Corporate Challenge. This is our 37th year, next year will be our 38th year of running Corporate Challenge, so it is really something special. Next, so this year we're also proud, it is the uptick from COVID. Last year in 2023 we had 39 teams, and this year I'm proud to say we had 55. Next year my objective is to have 65. I'm really going for it. But we're really truly seeing a lot more teams now coming back. Teams that have never heard about Corporate Challenge before. I'm a native. I've lived here, born and raised for 48 years of my life. When I first started working for the city 22 years ago, I hadn't heard about Corporate Challenge. And I was in my early 20s. I hate that people don't know about Corporate Challenge, so one of our big objectives is really getting our marketing efforts out there so people, and we ask you as commissioners to go out and really spread the word about Corporate Challenge. We start from the beginning of March, the first week of March, and we conclude that this year will be the third week in May. But it goes every year. We run at least 36 different sporting events. So this year we were so excited. 55 different teams from 39 last year was really great for us. And again, this one is kind of touchy.
Oh, no, here we go backwards.
Here, do it. Oh, the bottom one.
See, it's not just Aaron.
Aaron, I'm so sorry.
Backwards.
Mean.
And we're done.
Help.
Thank y'all.
There we go, yay. Okay. So the one thing, and maybe if you guys can assist us with, when I first started with Corporate Challenge, a ton of our hotels participated in Corporate Challenge, most of the strip properties. Once they all became under one conglomerate, or maybe two or three, they stopped participating in Corporate Challenge and kind of doing their own events internally. So as you can see in some of our A divisions, it really is small. We don't have one hotel participating at all in Corporate Challenge, not one. Which hurts my heart because for years we had Caesar's Palace, MGM, and then those teams started dying down, and then we used to have the downtown teams like Downtown Grand, the Golden Nugget, Main Street. They have slowly dissipated after COVID. They haven't returned. So I'm really, if you guys have any friends working in the hotel industry, please share Corporate Challenge. And as Corporate Challenge gets closer, we'll be giving you guys packets and information to spread the word. So again, these are our various companies that have participated this current year, 2024. Yes.
All right, I'm going to jump in here and I'm going to talk a little bit about our community partners. Without Corporate Challenge partners and people that we're just working with, this would be very hard for this to happen. So we work closely with a lot of these people here with Joe's Bar and Cimarron High School with our track and field meets and Macy's and Arrows. They really step up with us and help us do this job. So we always want to give a shout out to our community partners. Some of them just give us their space for free and everything and allow us to come in and host these huge events with the programs that we have. So we definitely want to give a shout out to them. One of the big things for us for Corporate Challenge, we always are monitoring this because we'd like for this program to be able to cost recover. And so we generate, this year we generated $114,000. And as of the close of April, we're at about $60,000 in expenditures. We're expecting that number to go up by the end of May, but that is something that we keep a close eye on and ensure that we're cost recovering. But the bigger thing for me in this picture is our participation. We have about 10,000 people normally that participate in Corporate Challenge, and for me this is huge. This shows our impact within the community. And for the people who come out and continuously want to participate in the Corporate Challenge program. So this is really big for us, that if we can continue to get those numbers and increase those numbers, whether it's the increase in the number of teams or we actually keep the same number of teams but we gain more participation in some of our programs. So there are some things that we are working on to ensure that we get those numbers that we would like to see next year. Couple of things that was positive for us this year. I started working with the team last year, and then this year I came in and I kind of started trying to interject some ideas and thoughts. And I worked with Jen and I said, what do you think about us adding food trucks to some of these events? And I thought about that because people come straight from their job after work. A lot of our events start at 5:30 or 6 o'clock. They have to check in and then we go. So it was really good. We got really positive feedback when we added the addition of the food trucks. So that was good for us. And then we have an addition of new staff and new coordinators. That was a positive for us because we want new people coming in. As the city of Las Vegas, like you said, we've been running this program for 30 plus years. And a lot of times we get the same people over and over running these programs. And I think it's beneficial when you have a group of new people that come in and they're willing to run these programs. It just gives us a different outlook, new eyes on the program. So it really helped us this year. And then we got new teams to Corporate Challenge, like Andrea talked about, that had never heard of our program before. So that's very beneficial. It lets us know that our marketing dollars are going to a good place. The word is spreading, and so the hope is, again, we're very ambitious about getting to 65 teams next year. And then we just get a lot of positive feedback. We shared that one letter, but there are many people that come to us at events and closing ceremonies, and they just thank us for running this program. The benefit to their companies and the camaraderie that they get and the morale boost at their companies are a big deal. And so that's huge for us that we're able to do that. Some of the challenges that we have with Corporate Challenge is a lot of our events are outside. So weather is always a concern on whether or not we'll be able to go. So this year, for example, we had to cancel opening ceremonies because the wind was expected to be at like 60 miles per hour, which it ended up being there. So good that we had to shut that down. I talked on the last slide about our program coordinator. New program coordinators was a positive, but it was also a challenge for us because for some of the companies that had always participated in the events with us, when they get new program coordinators, they think they know exactly how the program is supposed to run. And so when it switches up a little bit, it's a little bit of a concern. So it was good for us, like I said, a positive and a challenge, but we're working on that. Another challenge for us is manual waiver forms. Every time you come to Corporate Challenge and sign in, you have to sign a new waiver form. So our goal is to work with our IT program to see if we can make that electronic and not make that a continuous process. Maybe they can sign in one time at opening ceremonies or something like that and just make sure we have those waivers on file. Then one of our other major challenges is the evaluation of our program area. Again, like I talked about, some of these are outside, some of them are indoors with some of our community partners. Well, we'll show up one day, and we always send our coordinators out about a week or two before the event to check and make sure everything is good. And sometimes they'll get to their program area and something has changed. For example, over at All-American this year, a piece of the turf was missing out of the football field, which wasn't missing the week before. So on the night of, that, that's a challenge for us to be able to get all of those games in and, of course, have a safe playing area and all of that. So I'll let Jen finish up.
Hi, my name's Jen Winder. I'm with the Adaptive Recreation Unit. Some ideas for additions in the games that we have coming up in the next year to 5 years is our plan. A lot of our participants will bring up ideas that they want to do, as well as Andrea and I kind of brainstorming about some new fun and different things that we could do. Some of the activities that have come up is darts. We also would like to try to do a scavenger hunt around town so that they get to all areas of the town, of the city, and see different areas rather than focusing on one area at a time. We've talked about hockey, whether it's ice hockey or field hockey, or even the rinks that we have in the parks, roller hockey. An event we've had in the past is Ninja Warrior. We've wanted to work with new partners to try to bring that back. It was very popular. UFC thinks that because they were so good, that's why we got rid of it. But there were other reasons for that. We also wanted to bring the kids of everybody that participates into an activity to get them involved into something. They always end up at our opening ceremonies and our closing ceremonies, but we thought if we organize an event for all of them, that they can compete, whether it's an obstacle course or yard games or playground games, something like that, that we could get them involved into something. We've been talking with our special events team and getting the companies involved with our El Dorado Parade. A lot of the times in the past, our closing ceremonies and the El Dorado Parade will coincide on the same day, so it leaves a lot of conflicts of people participating in one or the other. And so this year, we're hoping to have them participate in the El Dorado Parade as a bonus to Corporate Challenge, and then we'll get extra points for that. And then the last one that we've had before is poker. With the decision of the hotels not participating, it's hard to find a sponsor to have that poker event at. That one? I got it right. Okay, looking ahead for Corporate Challenge, some things that we want to do. We want to continue to run this program because we feel like it's very beneficial to the community. We want to begin the registration and marketing a little bit earlier. We usually start registration in November, but we want to get the word out a lot earlier than that, so maybe we can capture some new companies out there. We want to look, Savante talked about it, looking into our IT program to improve our registration process. We want to make it a little bit more electronic versus a lot of paper that we're printing. Also, the wait times at events that they have to sign things. We want to streamline the games where feasible, working again with other partners. Maybe we can use a bigger facility to make events happen in one day versus 3, reduce our staffing costs, and we want to be creative and increase the participants' experience. These are some of the pictures from our events this year. One thing I wanted to mention is a lot of our events are not just sporting events. We try to include all kinds of events so that everybody can participate. So we have things like Biggest Winner, which is a weight loss competition, as well as chess. We do a trivia challenge. We also do the sporting events like the football, flag football, softball, and things like that, pickleball. I got you, Earl. Pickleball. So these are some of the pictures from the events this year. And our bike race is amazing to see. It's out at, what, Jean? It's out in Jean. And to see so many people come out there with their bikes, it's really incredible. Any questions?
Great. Questions, commissioners? Go ahead.
Russ Martin, Ward 2. I know Nellis Air Force Base used to participate in Corporate Challenge. Have you reached out to them recently?
Not recently, but probably about 5 years ago. Every year or two, I will go through past companies that have participated and check if they're no longer in existence. I'd reached out to Nellis, and they do games on site. So that's why, and again, it's more cost effective, because again, there is a fee associated with Corporate Challenge to cover mainly the staffing costs. So they created their own internal, but doesn't mean that they can't return by any means.
I think I see Commissioner Sherman.
Commissioner Sherman at large. Thank you so much for keeping this effort up. I know that you guys have been doing this a long time. I want to mention that I have a Corporate Challenge t-shirt from 30 years ago. It doesn't fit me anymore. If you'd like me to donate it I'll get that to you. I was just curious if the $60,000 expenditure included any Corporate Challenge logo wear or pins or trophies or things for participants.
Yes, so the $60,000 expenditure does include, we order, so for every winner that participates in Corporate Challenge, you get, it's mocked after the Olympics, so first, second, third place medals. Then you also, every team that that wins first place in all the 36 events gets plaques. And then first, second, and third in each division get trophies, so some of the costs associated with that. The $60,000 also encompasses our overtime and TILO for staffing costs. It encompasses volunteer shirts. We didn't order as much trinkets and pins, but typically that's what the cost is. So, but our largest line item is staffing costs. So that's why part of Corporate Challenge, many, many years ago, when it was kind of on the chopping block, we instilled a volunteer program. So if a company donates a particular amount of time volunteering, they get points associated with that. Corporate Challenge is based off a point system. So the companies want to get as many points as possible. If you go donate blood, you get points. If you serve at a charity event, whether it's a Boys and Girls Club or your local church, any 501c3, you get bonus points for that. So we do things to kind of cut our costs down as well. So.
Me? Hi, sorry, thank you for everything you're doing. I'm not real familiar with Corporate Challenge. Does a corporation have to participate in all of the events?
No. So we do offer 36 solid events. You do not. You have to still, we don't prorate, so you still have to pay the cost. There's a cost for each division depending on your company base size. So for instance, the A division is $2,600, but it's 1,000 plus employees. But if you wanted to participate in one event, you can. If you want to participate in all 36 events, you can as well. We just don't prorate. It just puts you in for all the events.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Burgos, Ward 6. Since you already said the cost, what is cost for the other categories or the other size companies?
The B division is $2,300, and then the C division is $1,800. But we always offer an early bird special, so from the beginning of November, November 1st through the end of December, so December 31st, we do a 10% discount on that, and then it goes back to the totals I just gave you, or the prices I just gave you. From then, registration starts from January 1st all the way to like the second week of February.
Well, as a former Corporate Challenge dart player, tug of war, biggest winner, and tennis, many years ago, I don't think my shirt fits me either, but because our law firm was so small, we combined with other law firms.
Yes.
Do you still offer that too? Because there's so many businesses that may not have enough employees.
Yeah.
Do you still offer that opportunity?
So our C division, typically a company, for instance, our engineers and more have probably about 30 different companies in that one engineers and more team, and they basically just split the costs, because we have one team, or one company had 2 people employed. So again, we want as many, and those are most of our local downtown companies, law firms, things of that, and engineer companies. They only have a couple people, so they'll join as one.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
Commissioner Voket's Ward 1. I'm glad to see it return. I was kind of worried about it for a while there.
Me too.
Is there another community that does the same thing?
No, so, well, and not in Southern Nevada. So Southern Nevada is, the Corporate Challenge is the largest amateur sporting event that the Southern Nevada has ever offered, and the longest duration. We have the second Corporate Challenge in the United States. We followed Kansas. Kansas was doing it 2 years prior to us.
Kansas?
Kansas City.
Okay,
And then our forefathers at that time, at our department directors, went to Kansas to figure out how they were running this corporate challenge. When they brought it back to us in '85, there was only 9 different events that the city produced, and now I'm proud to say that we have 36. My most I've offered is 43 different events. So before my career is over, I'd like to get back up to that. I have 8 years left. But yes, so and it's great because we are obviously the second largest and longest corporate challenge delivering program. We have people I've had people from all over. I've had people all the way from Canada, Mexico come and visit and shadow for days at a time to weeks at a time to see how the city of Las Vegas has been able to keep this program a lively program and touch so many people in our community.
Well, thank you. What I was thinking about is Las Vegas finalists challenging another community and taking it to a whole different level, okay? Similar to the senior games?
Oh, yes.
Okay. But great job, thank you.
Thank you.
Great, that was an excellent report. I'm really happy with the work that you guys have done. I was introduced to Corporate Challenge years ago, back when it was called Nevada Power in the 90s. I was doing internal communication work, and boy, they took that very seriously.
They still do.
I know, I believe it. I'm sure they were not happy to not take first place this year, because there's been many years that they did take first place. I'm happy to talk to some other companies that I work with, like Masters of Barricades. They might even do some of the traffic, obviously work with the city. And then I do know a few people at MGM, and maybe they'd be interested in coming back in, so we'll see. Okay, great. I really appreciate you guys' report today, so
Thank you.
keep up the good work.
We appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you next year. Great. Moving on to agenda item number 9, a discussion for possible action regarding the naming of newly constructed park located at 1393 South Rancho Drive, Ward 1. And one thing I do want to mention is for all of us just to be mindful that we are running shorter on, we're coming toward the close of our time, so we want to try to truncate our conversations as much as possible. Thank you.
So I do want to just kind of remind everybody it is a parcel of about 1.4 acres. It's currently a blank canvas. It is currently an empty lot. That was originally 3 parcels in that community. It will have 2-cell dog park, some shade structures, benches, tables, seating, bottle fillers, pet drinking stations, things of that nature, and then it'll have some public art amongst that. So I'll call your attention, the map here, and this was included in the report I sent out after our last meeting, shows you where the responses came from. So it was not just local. It came from all over the country. And then, of course, this is kind of how it's dispersed across the valley. And as you can see from the map, it's not all from the city itself. And this final map are the responses from Ward 1 itself. The report that I sent you in May included every name that came through. It includes all the comments that came through. The only thing I did was kind of synthesize a few things down. So if there was a name that was similar to another name, I tried to get those together and mark it with a bold 3, showing that there were 3 individual responses for that. You'll also see, I don't know how many of you got the report. It should be with you. That first top section, those are the comments as they came in. So you can see that there are some advocating for certain things and some that are advocating against that same thing. But we didn't censor anything. I just tried to synthesize it and put it in a way that was a little bit easier to present to you guys. That first section under the comments is the chunk of comments that belong to Ward 1 itself. And then as you go further into the document, it goes further out into the community and across the country. So I will call your attention to just a couple of things. We do have two standalone or basically standalone dog parks. That's Barkin Basin Park and Woofter Park. And as you can see, those names are fairly whimsically named, and they are canine themed. And so certainly there's some, all the other dog parks that we have out in the community are small components of a larger park. And so that may be something that you want to take into consideration.
I do know Commissioner Sherman wanted to speak on park naming. She used to be, when we had committees, she was in charge of park naming, so she has some history with this.
Thank you so much for involving the public in seeking a name and for your very thorough report that you sent to us about a month ago to review. I just want to mention that I believe that Mayor Oscar and Carolyn Goodman deserve far more than the name of a dog park. But this is a standalone dog park that's literally walking distance to the home that they raised 4 wonderful children who are serving our community very well. And a lot of people might not be aware that their children, all 4 of them, were adopted and moved into that home that's walking distance to this corner. One of them is an oncologist here in town. One of them is an attorney. One of them is a justice of the peace judge. And one of them is a marriage and family therapist doing one of the most difficult jobs in the city, which is dealing with burn victims who have not only disfigurement, but have excruciating pain. And I looked at all the names, and I agree that we don't want to go and use the word woof again, and we don't want to use the word bark again, and that I think we all would agree that Oscar and Carolyn Goodman hopefully will get something named in their honor in the city, like maybe even the building being built across the street or a courtyard in that building. But I would like to honor the family that those children probably played on that dirt. They probably rode their bikes on that dirt, and it's walking distance to their family home where their parents still live. So I would like to put a motion on the floor that we make a recommendation to the City Council to consider this piece of property, Goodman Family Positive Paws Park.
I second that.
If it's okay with you, Commissioner Sherman, I know that there's some additional discussion that was going to take place before we entertain that motion, as long as that's appropriate with the attorney, which I think it is. So with that, Commissioner?
Brian Voketz, Ward 1. I do want to thank you for the survey. There was a plethora of information in there that can help formulate an opinion on this. I did go through the information a number of times, and I think it comes down to recognition of something that is a naming convention that's pertinent to the function of the facility or the venue. I think it may come down to a choice of naming it after an individual or after a non-individual. I think there are reasons for that, but I would like to kind of walk through a few things here, and then I may be able to drill down and come to a recommendation. It's nice to see all of the feedback from Ward 1. I think that the neighbors deserve a voice in this, and I think that's something to bring forward. I think it's good to go by what was provided to us. We do have to take it with a grain of salt, but I think it also requires some research to make sure that we do the right thing. Sometimes you don't want to name something, and later on find out that something was not discovered and you have to unname it. I think that individuals who took the time to write a narrative in this survey deserve some extra points in terms of their consideration. My research was primarily based on the internet and talking to individuals in the area. In addition to that, I tried to visit the place, but you really can't. You have to, you don't want to parallel park on Rancho, trust me. But you still can park on the side and you can walk the property. It's basically a small venue. It's something that you would walk to. It's not something that you would drive to, in my opinion. I think that may come into the naming conventions. I think it's where I'm leading with this is based on the responses within the survey. So where do we go from here? I think I can get behind naming it after an individual. I can also get behind naming it after a non-individual, and would like to entertain discussion on both of those points. I think that when we name something, it should emphasize the meaning of the area or the purpose for the park or the idea for the park. There's a vision behind this park is for people to exercise, whether it's to get out with the dog or by themselves, in my opinion, after listening to the feedback. So there is a health initiative or a human health initiative behind this. I would like to give a nod to the neighbors in that area that are around Rancho and Oki. I think it's important to recognize their patronage. I think that the name needs to merit the scope of the project. So if we have strong luminaries, perhaps a very strong project should be out there that we would name that particular venue or attraction after. I think it's important to reflect something that is positive and to avoid any acronym out there or any short text that would communicate something that is socially uncomfortable. I did get that t-shirt in a different board where we named something and the acronym was not nice, so you need to double check that. I also think anything that has a word that is a nod to noise, such as impulse noise, we're talking about banging, shoot, bark, that brings up something that we've been interacting with on other occasions where people are insisting upon noise abatement. So if we use something that it talks about impulse noise in the name, it's inviting criticism, and I think we need unnecessary criticism. I think the character content in the naming should be short. You need to be cognizant of having a great big long name for something. And I think that we should be careful in looking at any trademark or any copyright infringements that might stem forward and naming it after a cartoon character, that sort of a thing. So what I was, in my mind, able to get behind is if naming it after a person is consideration, I would recommend naming it after a veterinarian. It'd be Robert Hugh Clark. There are a number of Robert Clarks in our community, so we need to be careful to make certain that the right person is recognized. That is an individual that did live in the neighborhood within walking distance, treated the animals in the neighborhood, but also was a physician specializing in horse and livestock management in addition to regular veterinary work. He was a 44-year resident in the area, a captain of the mounted posse, and someone who was born in Kansas but moved here and then had lived in that neighborhood until he was deceased. So if it would come down to naming it after a person, I think the right fit in terms of the scope of the project and the merit of the size of the venue, it may be more important to focus on this individual. And if it's not feasible to name it after a person, I would recommend naming it after a non-person and call it the Rancho and Oki Dog Park, which gives you both an idea of the purpose of the park and where it's located. It's simple and it's clean. So I would like to throw on the table discussion of two things. Discussion of naming it after Dr. Robert H. Clark Dog Park or the Rancho and Oki Dog Park. And that's my list, Mr. Chairman.
Great, thank you, Commissioner. We are running really close to time, and I'm going to probably maybe make recommendations on some of the other agenda items as we come up. I know that we want to have some discussion about that. Did anybody else want to add to the discussion that we have now very briefly? Otherwise, the way we have to do this, and my understanding is we do have a motion that's been seconded on the table, and we will have to entertain that motion. And then, depending on the outcome of that motion, if you would like to make the motion of a different name of the park, I believe that would be the correct course of action in this particular case. But if there's any other discussion that we need to hear before we entertain that motion, I'd like to hear it now. Anyone? Commissioner?
Russ Martin, Ward 2. I say keep it simple. Oki Dog Park or Rancho Dog Park or a combination Rancho Oki.
Commissioner?
Commissioner Burgos, Ward 6. My concern is that just, we've known the history of naming parks and facilities and buildings and airports after individuals, and then we later learn of something has happened, and I'd hate to fall into that. And I also think that sometimes it's hard to find out where our parks are. So if we keep it simple, like Rancho Oki Park or Rancho Park or Oki Park, and then within those parks, maybe name trees or name memorials within those that can be easily removed if an issue comes up later on, but we can recognize them at that time. But I think that would be, just trying to foresee some problems in the future.
Okay. Other points? Commissioner Sherman?
I just want to provide clarification that we're not naming the park, we're just making a recommendation to the city council. The city council will have their own decision as to what the park will be named. So I think that's really important to put that out there, that we have a very extensive park naming policy in place with the city of Las Vegas, and that they did a wonderful job in surveying and seeing what different people contributed. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that insight, Commissioner. With that, just as a matter of policy, we do have a motion that's been made and seconded, so I'd like to entertain that motion. That motion was presented by Commissioner Sherman. Yes.
Yes, to name the park at Rancho and Oki Goodman Family Positive Paws Park.
Great, and that's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can we see a raise of hands?
Looks like we have four.
Four?
Am I counting that right? 1, 2,
count
3,
five.
4, 5.
The commissioners on the phone? No.
Yes, Keller's here.
If you have any ayes on the phone, please, would you share those with us now? Otherwise, then nays?
Nay.
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 That's 6. Okay, so what I'm seeing is that the nays have it, and so we will go from there. Commissioner, if you'd like to make a motion to name the park, we could, or make a recommendation to the city park, we could do that.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we recommend the naming of the park in question, the Rancho and Oki Dog Park.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner. Okay, so we have a motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Can we see your hands? Someone contact them.
Sorry.
That's 6. Anyone on the phone saying aye? Okay, hearing that.
Commissioner Keller, aye.
Okay, that's 7. And then nays? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's 4. So the ayes have it. My understanding is that the Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission will recommend that name to the city council.
Sorry, Chair, clarification. Might I please have the nays? I only saw 2.
Yeah. The fourth nay? All nay? Did you?
He's just trying to get the nays.
Okay. You might have lost them. We good? Okay.
No, I was a nay.
That's what it was. Great, so that'll be a recommendation of the commission. Thank you. Thank you all for that. It was a healthy discussion and kind of an interesting outcome, so that's great. What I'd like to do now, and Patrick, thank you so much for presenting it. Hopefully that provides you the information that you need today.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Great. Given the time, I would like to go ahead and recommend, and maybe I need a motion on this, because I haven't done this before. But I'd like to see if we can take agenda item number 10, which is a report by staff regarding marketing communication efforts to increase awareness by parks and recreation activity all wards, and go ahead and move that to delay that item for the next meeting so that we can move on. Do I need a motion for that, council? No? I'm going to go ahead and move that to the next available commission meeting. Moving on then, we have...
You know what, Chairman?
Yes.
It's actually best if we go ahead and vote to obey the item.
That's what I was, okay.
Yeah, why don't we just have someone if we agree, let's go ahead and have someone make the motion to obey the item.
Can someone make a motion for me? Commissioner Rice?
Commissioner Burgos, Ward 6, I'd like to make a motion to obey item number 10 on the agenda, the report by staff regarding marketing and communication efforts to increase awareness of parks and recreation activities and opportunities.
That's fine.
To the September 3rd meeting.
Second.
Great.
Oh, if we could move it to the September 3rd meeting.
Great, that's excellent. And that's been seconded by Commissioner Union?
Russ Martin, Ward 2, second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great. That leads us to agenda item number 11. And again, I have a couple items as well. If we could just make sure, I know we always have stuff, just try to keep it short for us today. Report by all commission members regarding parks issues and events within their respective council wards, at large, all wards. Anyone have commission stuff today?
Commissioner Burgos, Ward 6. On June 7th, we have the Jurassic World Movie in the Park event that is at Floyd Lamb Park at Tule Springs. And also on June 13th, Thursday, it's not a Parks event, but it's Bocaditos, and I'm probably not saying that right, so I apologize, but it was with Councilwoman Rooney. It's Thursday, June 13th from 9 to noon, Centennial Hills YMCA. I would encourage anyone who wants to have put input or complain or whatever they want to do regarding Ward 6 to attend those events, because she does listen to everyone, and especially if it's regarding our parks.
Other commissioners? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and say mine. This is representing Ward 2, Chair Becker. Councilwoman Victoria Seaman will be hosting a breakfast buzz from 9 to 10 a.m. on Saturday, June 15th at the Veterans Memorial Center, 101 Pavilion Center Drive. The event is free, but the councilwoman staff asks for citizens to RSVP to Ward 2 at lasvegasnevada.gov. Also, just real quick, I wanted to share that the councilwoman's office and myself had a first successful meeting with the City of Las Vegas Parks and Recreation Department regarding a new middle school softball league. As some of you may know, middle school softball by the Clark County School District was dropped, and I've been working with several people to see that the City of Las Vegas bring it back as a sort of a city league for that particular age group. Along with me, citizens Jason and Mindy Johnson, we're sharing some knowledge about middle school softball, and we're all coming up with a new format that'll likely see teams around this, that are centered around schools but not part of the schools, with interested teams being asked to commit to a spring season sometime this next August. And then a special thanks goes to Councilwoman Victoria Seaman for championing this cause to keep girls playing and get more girls playing, and of course our staff, Sandy Foley and Adam Sequeros, for their hard work in making this happen. Thank you so much. With that, I'd like to move to agenda item number 12, which is citizen participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the commission. No subject may be acted upon by the commission unless the subject is on the agenda is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, come forward and give your name. For the record, the amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. Do I see anybody here from public comment? No. No one here today. With that, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Commissioner.